Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. To Cape Town now, where Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu will lie in state at the St. George's Cathedral from today to give mourners more time to pay personal tribute. The Arch's funeral will take place at the Cathedral on Saturday. The cortege of the late Archbishop will arrive at the west door of the Cathedral shortly after 7 today. Now, for more, before we go to the Cathedral, let's go to Vanessa Poonah first. Vanessa, good morning to you. Give us a sense of what you've seen since you arrived there.
Yes, a very warm good morning to you, and I can tell you that I'm stationed in Adderley Street at the moment, just behind me, and I'll step out of shot for just a second so that you can see, of course, this is Adderley Street, and there, of course, the road closures that have already been put into place, that leading into Wale Street. In the background there, you'll see the St. George's Cathedral, designed by Sir Herbert Baker, and, of course, built with sandstone from Table Mountain. Of course, the spiritual home of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu. It's here where he was the Archbishop of Cape Town for a full decade, from 1986 until 1996. Now, what I can tell you is a lot of cordons have been placed along Adderley Street, and I suppose barricades for those people that may come out to witness and to view the cortege as it makes its way down Adderley Street, of course, into Wale Street behind me, where the cortege and where the body of the late Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu will be received by Cape Town Archbishop Thabo, as well as the Dean of the St. George's Cathedral, Father Michael Weeder, in a short while. It's just gone, 20 to 7 at the moment. We do expect that process will start from 7 o'clock. We know that it's expected that the cortege will arrive here at the Cathedral behind me at that time. And of course, today as well as tomorrow, from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m., members of the public, Cape Townians, visitors to the city, those that have loved the Arch, those that have been touched by his lifelong work, those that have been touched by his spirit of Ubuntu, his message of love and kindness, of peace and forgiveness, of reconciliation, his adamant stance that he will speak up for right against wrong, irrespective how uncomfortable it may be for certain quarters. People who have respected the Arch throughout his 90 years of life, of course, are expected to come out and to pay tribute to him. It's early morning yet at the moment, so not much happening in terms of crowds per se along Adderley Street, but of course these barricades are up just in case people are coming through to say a final farewell to him. And of course then behind me, and I'm sure you'll cross to my colleague Lama in a short while, of course behind me there is St. George's Cathedral, where the body will lie in state for the next 2 days, and just in the distance you'll see just under the arch, for the arch, that wooden structure, of course, in honor and in memory of the Arch. You'll see there are some tents, and of course that, I suppose, is where the COVID-19 protocols will be put into place to make sure that those that actually enter the cathedral will indeed have made sure that they would be sanitized, to just ensure that everybody that will be coming through today as well as tomorrow will be wearing a mask, as we all are. And of course, once that takes place at 9 o'clock, then the St. George's Cathedral will be open for members of the public to come and pay their last respects to a well-loved, a small in stature but larger-than-life personality, someone who stood for righteousness, speaking on issues of climate change, speaking on issues of health. I mean, just a short while ago, with his 90th birthday, I did a story about the Arch and his contribution to healthcare, not just in South Africa, but globally. Outspoken critic against the delaying of antiretrovirals, for example. He was always a fighter and a campaigner for cancer and treatment for cancer. And then of late, of course, in his later years in the pandemic, once again, Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu and his wife Malaya were among the first elders to receive their jabs against COVID-19. So one can talk about Archbishop Desmond Tutu and his life's work, and we can stand here and from dawn until dusk about the kind of person he was and what he embodied. And of course, that would be part of the remembrance this week as we mourn his passing, but also celebrate his life on the first day of his body due to lie in state here at St. George's Cathedral behind me.
Vanessa Poonah, thank you so much. We will catch up with you just before 7 o'clock now. From Adderley Street, let's move to the Cathedral, where Lulama Makia is there for us. Lulama, what's happened from the moment we spoke to you till now? Have you seen any activity? What's going on?
At the time we spoke, Lebo, it was a bit quiet. Now, with the time at 19 minutes to 7, we can see that there's something that is going to happen because many people are starting to arrive. But it's not the public yet. It's the media, it's the officials, it's the church people, those who are going to help during this process. I am right now at the steps of the cathedral. The cortege is going to come in here. The bishop, Archbishop Thabo Mogoba, and Father Michael Wieder are going to receive it at this door, Lebu. And as the Marcus, my camera guy, is zooming out to it. The cathedral, if we're looking at it, is branded with various codes that Archbishop Desmond Tutu taken from the speeches that he has made. If I can read just one label, it says, "You don't choose your family. They are God's gift to you as you are to them." The church was saying that these codes, they did this branding in October for his 90th birthday, and they were not removed. And as he passed away in December, they are still here. So they are saying it was maybe it was a God's plan to them that they celebrate his birthday like that, and then in December he passes. We know, Lebu, that the President Ramaphosa has declared a Category 1 state funeral for the Arch, and that funeral is reserved for the president of the country, for president-elect, and former presidents. So it just tells you the kind of a funeral that the Archbishop will receive on Saturday after lying in state for 2 days, starting from today and tomorrow. The church is saying that initially he was going to lie in state for a day, but due to COVID restrictions, they extended it to 2 days so as to give the public enough time to view the body. So we're expecting the body to arrive at 7, and then, but the public viewing will start at 9 a.m.
Lulama, I'm curious. There's one of the quotes there on the windows. It says, "You'd be surprised at the people you see in heaven." What else does it say there? Typical of the Arch to make jokes like that. There's on the other side, you were reading it. Tell me more what it says there.
We may be surprised at the people we find in heaven. God has a soft spot for sinners. His standards are quite low. That's the quote.
Wow. Typical. So
it just tells you the kind of a person he was.
Yeah.
And Lebu, as we've been here throughout this week, we've seen various kinds of people. We've seen people across color, Lebu, young and old, and they are describing Uach as someone who loved to dance, who loved to laugh, who loved to smile, a very kind person who welcomed everybody. He was embracing everybody. He didn't pick and choose who to talk to, who to associate with. So indeed, it's not a surprise that, Lebu, we can see that one of his quotes is that.
All right, Lulama, thank you so much. We'll talk to you in a bit. Lulama Makia, rolling coverage of the cortege today that's happening today. We've got Vanessa Poonah as well as Atulechaka on the streets of Cape Town for us. All right, let's take